Multi-stream chat. Engage. Multi-stream chat has failed to load. Fantastic. That's a phenomenal start.
Oh, I gotta load up on YouTube anyway.
Oh, we are on Twitch. This is progress on last week. Last month. And we're on YouTube. Oh my god. How easy was that? That was
nice.
That was phenomenally simple. Hello everyone. We're live.
Howdy. I'm gonna go find YouTube real quick.
There we go. Yeah, I've got the rooms up. That's all good. I need to bring up the chat, otherwise I'm not going to be able to see anyone, but for some reason it's not giving me the chat.
Yeah, not chat either.
No chat. Oh dear.
Chat is disabled for this live stream. It says in the corner. What did you do?
It's not me. Hang on, everyone. This is why you tune in early. Let's have a look. Let's go into edit. Live chat. Live chat is disabled for this video. Why is it disabled for this video? I don't know why that's happened.
I'd laugh if it had something to do with Twitch. Just watch it have something to do with Twitch.
Twitch. All the work I do to try and let us go out in two places. And it would be Twitch that messes it up.
Right?
Oh, and we've got viewers on Twitch as well, so I can't just dump them. Sorry, Twitch viewers. You are important, honest.
All right. I'm coming to Twitch. I'm joining us on Twitch now.
Guys, I'm so sorry. There is going to be no chat on YouTube for this episode. I'm really, really sorry. Please do still watch on YouTube. Please still watch on YouTube. Minimize it. Join us on Twitch. Chat on Twitch. But please don't shut down the YouTube window. YouTube will punish me for these things. So, minimize YouTube. Jump onto Twitch. That is in no way, I don't think, what YouTube is trying to encourage, but that's what we're going to do. Interestingly, my side does think there is a live chat, but then when you look at the live room, it confirms there is no chat. Okay, so we're off to a smashing start. Welcome to July's ID update. As always, we have got a great show for you. I shan't say planned for you because planned is far too strong a word for what we've done. But we are both here, so yeah.
We are here, and we have a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about. A lot of cool stuff has gone down this month. Maybe not all cool, but certainly all interesting. So, without further ado, this is the ID update. It's the last Friday of the month. My name's Tom.
And I'm Joe.
And let's roll that intro. There's only one place for the breaking news in the world of instructional design. The ID Update with Tom and Joe. All the news you never knew you never needed. Only on IDT. Here we go then. So, as I said, chat's live on Twitch. I'll repeat that a few times as I see some people have joined the YouTube stream since we started. The chat is over on Twitch this week. No idea why, but just head over to the Twitch TV channel, and we will be able to talk to you there.
Twitch. This episode not brought to you by YouTube.
Absolutely, but once again, do not close that YouTube window. Minimize it. Open Twitch. I will explain why shortly in our section about the joy and terror that was IDTX last week. So it's been a month, Joey. How you been?
It's been a month. I'm right there with you. So a lot happened. I started a new job. Yeah, I kind of started a new job this month, and then I got to do IDTX, my first professional conference, which was a heck of a lot of fun, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's just been busy. It's been busy.
It has. It's been a big old month, hasn't it? But
yeah. How about you? How are you doing?
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's. I am looking forward to the concept of sleep returning to my life. I've heard it's lovely.
Yeah.
So we're gonna embrace that when it's here. But yeah, no, it's been I think it's been a really great month actually for a number of reasons. One of them, obviously, IDTX did. I shan't say it went off without a hitch, but it did happen, um, which is a small miracle, all things considered.
That's my
Um,
fault. Of everything you had, my video decides to crap out on me.
well, it wasn't. You know, you were the only person I think to have technical difficulties in the actual session. Everything else was just the platform making my life a living hell after the fact. And as it turns out during the fact, I just didn't realise it yet. But that is a
Oh
topic for
no.
discussion later on in this episode. First things first, the real reason everyone is here. Do sound off in the chat on Twitch while keeping your YouTube window minimised, so not to lose the view hours. On Twitch, what's everyone drinking this evening? And in the meantime, we'll tell you what we're drinking. Joey, what you having?
I don't know if I've had this on this channel before. I think I've had them Grim though, at least. So I'm rocking some Grim Brothers, Fabled series, The Count. I needed big. I needed big today. And that's what we're going with. Barrel aged Imperial Stout. It's a big boy. I
Very
needed to end the month
nice.
strong. So,
Very
and to end it
nice.
off strong, I also have my glass from Big Choice Brewing out in Westminster. Everything's just big today because it was a big month and it needs to end in a big way.
Awesome. Hi in the chat there. Thank you for joining us. Do get
Howdy.
involved in the convo. Let us know what beverage you are enjoying, even if it's just, tap water or whatever you had left on your desk. Cold coffee. I've got two separate cups of cold coffee on the go at the moment.
Nice.
But
Good stuff.
beer wise, I
Beer
am
wise.
enjoying a beer that I stand no chance whatsoever in pronouncing the name of.
Eh,
Um,
I just know it's a Marzen. Looks like a Marzen.
Exactly. The English on the back, first mentioned in the year 1405 as the House of the Blue Lion, the historic brewery, has been the source of smoked beer for centuries. So this is an original Schlenkerla smoked beer, sorry. It's a dark, bottom fermented beer with an intense smoky aroma and flavour. It's smoked over a kiln of beechwood logs, and it is delicious.
You
I had
have such good stories behind your beer. I get this. I've got this cool little thing on the back that's just kind of like a story they made up. And you've got like 1405. We found water in a mountain and decided to pee in it. Cores. And that's our origin stories. That's what we get.
this is the I would say that to me this is the big benefit of European beer. It's just been here longer. Like
Yeah,
especially in Germany where this beer comes from. Like they are the beer country. Like you want to know where beer was born, you go to Germany, and it's as if you could not imagine Germans existing without beer. It's just
right.
you know the idea of one coming before the other does not make any sense. And they do it best. I've got to say, in my opinion, as I have learnt to say a lot this week, in my humble opinion. But if you disagree with me, you're wrong. So, glass-wise, though, very exciting.
Renee Frank. Let's see. We got Luke in the chat. I don't know who
Hey, Luke.
designed Am is, so if we got first name, it's a little easier, but Luke
I recognize the Designam tag. I want to say you're in the Discord and that you were there maybe at IDTX, possibly on YouTube rather than in the event, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, ID update glass. Woo!
yeah,
Finally
well,
got here.
I'm
This is exciting
so
stuff.
You got an ID update class. You got an ID update shirt. I'm rocking Power Rangers, as I think I've done like 3 times.
That is very
For
cool.
some reason,
I
it
will.
just happens that way.
I like that. But yes, the ID update glass is now live. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm currently pouring my beer, and that does require some attention from me, as it's quite lively actually compared to the other. But yes, the t-shirts and the glasses are now live, as well as our Learning Geek V1 and V2 long sleeve t-shirts, which is a lovely design. Also need to give a massive shout out to Christian Ward, who is, since the changes on Patreon, the first person to sign up to the Instructional Design Wizard tier. Chris, your T-shirt will be in the post very shortly.
Cool.
There is an exclusive T-shirt, the ID Wizard T-shirt, to people at that Patreon tier. And we do stickers for one of the other tiers. So thank you to everyone, but as he's joined the highest tier, I thought I'd say thank you on the show. Also need to
Thank
say a massive thank you to everyone who supported us following IDTX on Buy Me a Beer and Patreon. You are all awesome. It makes a huge difference in being able to run future events to have support.
you. Good bet.
But
Well, anyway, well, cheers. I mean, cheers to you guys then. Right? That's what I got.
absolutely.
I'll be the cheers guy.
Cheers to
Bam.
you all.
Oh,
Bam.
look at that. Look at
Look
that
at that.
pour.
That's got a nice. That's got slightly too much head on it for my liking, but I'll take it. Cheers.
Mine just fizzled into nothing. I mean, it's still great.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a long afternoon.
That's
Excited.
That is it. That's so nice that the smokiness in that isn't just aroma. It's there in the flavour. It stays. That is that is seriously good stuff.
I'm jealous. And they canceled
Awesome.
our trip to Scotland, so I don't get to go out
Oh
there in
no.
September.
Ah.
We're not sure if we can get it back. We're not sure if it canceled because of COVID things or if there was another reason. So I'm not going to get to go out and enjoy the crap out of that.
That
Makes
is a
me sad.
shocker. We will make it happen one day.
I'm getting
Yeah.
hints in the chat, and I feel really bad that I don't remember names though, but I remember everything happening. So I did the marketing of knowledge as training as blank, and I put a odd emphasis on the blanks, and people kind of caught on to that in chat, which was a lot of fun, by the way. And that's why we're getting random blanks in the chat now.
Like it. That's going to be an ongoing thing. That's
I'm gonna take it. Even if the content was like there and okay, and people are like, whatever. I left a legacy. I've left a meme thing.
absolutely. I'm just waiting for Q to jump in with some of his usual excellent puns at some point in the show. So for those of you joining for the first time, one of our regular viewers, Q, will likely turn up at some point, and we always like his input.
Already starting. Already
Absolutely. There. So I mean, let's dive into some of our topics. There's so much this month. I mean, just to follow on from last month. Last month we spoke a little bit about kind of money in the industry and value in the industry, and how Coursera was obviously going public. That's gone well, let me tell you. There aren't many stocks doing that well at the moment. I think they walked in and immediately, what are they up at the moment? Let's have a look. They are up. This show, by the way, does not ever make any kind of financial advice in terms of investing. Well, quite frankly, if you took investment advice from me, you're a moron. But
you should invest in the ID updates. Check out Patreon.
Absolutely, that is a sound investment. A sound investment. However, oh wow, actually, their stock seems to have crashed a bit. Whoops. Oh. They initially were up about 5%. Now they're down a couple of percent. Either way, it's actually a relatively strong showing for a new public company, to be honest. I think they're the fact that they went public and did not immediately crumble to dust, a la many other organizations, is testament to how strong that business model is. And you know what? I hadn't looked at Coursera in years. I went and had a look. It's completely different. It is brilliant. It's absolutely superb. They have a new subscription model. They've got loads of all their courses, to my mind, used to be you got certificates and they were recognised and they were from universities, but they were all a bit kind of, they were MOOCs. Let's be, and it still is, but they were like exactly what you would expect from an online MOOC. A bit old hat. Loads on there by Google now as part of their professional certification stuff. Real meaningful content. I went through a couple of the courses and they were actually solid. They were really well designed.
Nice.
So it's good to see them doing well. But this month we had some real big movement in the market. So Open Sesame, who was already a big player in the content market, um, attracted a $50 million round of investment, um, which is just huge. Um,
We say that compared to another one that has happened
yeah,
in the
this.
last month. I don't know if we want to jump to that or if we want to
Yeah,
like
let's do that. Yeah,
ease
why
our
not? Let's
way.
link the two together. Yeah.
All right. Well, since we're talking about investing, and I feel like this is gonna like segue into half this episode, especially given what they did on Tuesday. So Articulate. Remember our boys at Articulate? Uh, they did a Series A funding round and got 1.5 billion with a $1 billion of funding specific for growth and whatnot, growth development, all that stuff that you get money for.
So in
And
other
it's
words, they're now
absolutely
founding a small country of
kind of.
instructional designers.
Um, so it was by General Atlantic. They're a global equity firm, a growth global equity firm. Your standard VC venture capitalist nonsense. But still, $1.5 billion to do stuff. And given the stuff they just did, that could be pretty cool. That could actually mean a lot for them.
Yeah. And I
Um,
mean, do you know what's interesting? This is the first time. It's the first time I've ever noticed it. There's live software out with end users, not part of any closed group or application process, that is beta and marked as such.
mhm.
Never seen that with them before. That's a new move from Articulate, and I think it's really cool. Plus, it works. Like there was
Yeah.
a storyline update, and I did it, and it worked. I was a bit,
Yeah, I even did it like when we found it. I think it was yesterday.
yeah, yeah,
Yesterday I took a look at it. I was like, oh, I actually understand this, and it's super easy.
yeah.
Um, Fun fact: according to Trust Radius, that looks at like the most loved products, Articulate 360 is the 7th most loved product in the world, apparently, according to this
Okay.
survey, which has things like Squarespace.
Hmm.
Let's see. There's a couple survey places. Look like it's very SaaS. You know what's wild though? You know what it's above? HubSpot. I know HubSpot very very well. That is massive out here as far as like a CRM marketing hub.
Yeah.
Um, Somehow 360 is better, and I don't think they had. I didn't think they had that much visibility.
I
Honestly.
I suppose it's kind of about the percentage of the visibility you have that actually like your product. Like
Uh-huh.
HubSpot, that market has a lot of players in it.
Yes.
Authoring tools, there are not that many players in that market, and none
Right,
of them
Adobe.
are.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, yeah. One day, maybe. I don't think Adobe really sees a future in the authoring tool market. At least they're not moving towards it as far as we can see.
I'm still holding
Um,
by my theory that it's going to get replaced with Captivate Prime, and they're going to rebrand Captivate as something different. I'm still holding.
I desperately hope so, but I don't know. I feel like there's been so little input from them. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
they're given a lot of ground. Let's put it that way. In a product where it is all about how many businesses buy into your ecosystem, because once a business goes one way or the other, it's going to take something huge to make them change.
Yeah, and
Um,
360 just is kind of has had it on lock, and it's the only thing that's
yeah,
trying to creep up on it is like Evolve and whatnot.
this
Question in
is
chat
it.
of like, I assume we're talking about storyline. I'm looking at chat. I assume we're talking regarding storyline. Is it better or is it easier to use? I'm gonna go with easier to use, sort of, with an
Than
asterisk.
what? Better than.
Other things, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
We've talked plenty about storyline
yeah,
on this show as far as how we feel about it. I feel that it's option paralysis and needlessly complicated, but really powerful if you need that kind of power. And if you don't, it's a big waste of your time. Um, and that's where I stand.
yeah.
That's my bumper sticker.
And don't get me wrong, I would openly say that I think storyline is the most frustrating bit of software I work with, and I use a lot of Adobe products. But storyline is frustrating in that it is so close to being great, but there
Mhm.
are just some fundamental issues in the software that they're not fixing. Like
Yeah.
that
Text.
this yeah, like this new functionality is super exciting. For those who don't know, it's the 360-degree sort of images within it and interactivity within that environment. Awesome. Works. It just works. I was so impressed with that. I expected it to be buggy as anything, but it worked. It's easy to use. It makes sense. But I can't copy and paste alt text between items.
Yeah.
What is that? I can't adjust the leading or properly adjust line spacing in text. What is that? It just doesn't make sense, the things they're focusing on, in my opinion. It's great to have new functionality, but
Mhm.
how about nailing core functionality first?
Yeah.
Some
Don't get me wrong.
mistakes to
That 360 image editor is disturbingly easy.
yes.
That should have been a lot more complicated.
And if you've ever tried to do it in Captivate, you've seen how to make it more complicated. It is like I tried so hard to get working on that sort of stuff in Captivate and just gave up because it was
Sounds
so
about right.
difficult. Don't get me wrong, they may have improved it over time. I don't know. There don't seem to have been many updates. Interesting to hear from Luke there. I've officially left Captivate forever now. Now, when I first met
Hey, cheers
Luke,
to
Luke
that.
was a Captivate guy. I don't think I necessarily loved it. Tell me if I'm wrong, Luke. But it's. I think that is what Captivate are going to suffer from. People look forward to getting away from it. And
If
I
I
don't
ever
think
want to train on
everyone.
Windows
Sorry.
3.1, like if I want to do a training on Windows 3.1, it's great because all the graphics are there. I don't have to change anything.
Yeah, it does. I think that's a big part of the problem with Captivate. It can do some cool stuff. It really can. But
Hmm.
it makes everything so difficult. It's so unpleasant to look at that no one gives it that chance. And that, to me, is where Articulate made such a good move with 360. They came in and they went, everyone can use PowerPoint. Yeah, cool. So that's what it'll look like.
Yep.
That's how you take over the market right there. You know
Meanwhile, Captivate's like, everyone can use Flash, right? No, nobody can use Flash. It's going to be Flash.
this is it. Oh, here you go,
Oh,
Luke's. I was emotionally loyal to Captivate for years, but now it's Storyline and Evolve. Yeah, and you know what? I think the interesting thing there is that obviously Articulate have got Rise. I don't think they. I mean, they're updating Rise. They're doing cool stuff with it. I don't think they really care about competitors like Evolve because I don't think they see them operating in the same space. I think some people are going to have both, but very few places are just going to have Evolve.
yeah. I
Um,
do need to. I do own that. I do need to take a look at Evolve. I need to take more of. I'm hoping to do that in August and September as life
mm,
quiets down a little bit. I want to take a look at Evolve. I want to take a look at DaVinci
yeah,
for video.
it's yeah. Actually, I think if Evolve for me has been the biggest kind of discovery of 2021. I
Hmm.
really like it. There's a great video on, lucky enough, on IDT now, courtesy of IDTX, doing a brief introduction of it from the lovely. Oh my god, I'm
Uh oh.
forgetting people's names. This is so
What
embarrassing.
What did you do? All right.
Who did that talk? I'm so sorry. Helen. It was Of course, it was Helen. Yes. So the lovely Helen gave us an intro to the Evolve authoring tool. We'll edit that out in post. No, we won't.
Gonna
But
be a
yeah. So Helen
I'm
from
gonna be a
Evolve. There
graphic
we go.
nerd. I gotta comment how cool I think those IDTX screen thumbnails are. By the way, dude, solid work on that.
I
I'm,
bought the template. Uh,
that's a good template.
do you know what? This is the other thing I have really learned over the past year and a half is that you can spend a lot of time building stuff, but 90% of the time, someone has done it for you. Um,
Yeah,
so, ladies and gentlemen, Invato Elements is the place in my mind for stock stuff. They've got video, music, images, infographics, websites, HTML pages, CMS templates for like WordPress and all that kind of thing. They've got everything,
so I'm gonna
all
go
on one
find them to
handy.
sponsor us.
They're all in one handy monthly subscription. So yeah, that for me, that is the place to get all that kind of stuff. Just because it makes life so easy. I can see we've got more people joining us on YouTube. Please join us on Twitch so you can join in the chat, as for some reason YouTube has stopped us having a chat this week. Don't close your YouTube tab though, keep that open, minimize it, join us on Twitch. So yeah, I can see it. Articulate has a lot of mistake to an eye training. I don't quite understand, I'm afraid. Sorry. It's probably me being stupid. I've already had a couple of beers before coming on, which is probably not the smartest move in the world.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's only it's 1:30. I can't come in and say, "Oh, I had a couple beers before." That
No,
would be
no, that would be inappropriate.
bad.
But I did, because it's late here. Well, I say it's late. It's 8:30.
Yeah,
So
you're
we're
fine.
all good. Yeah, but I think that my point really was just that Articulate doesn't need to take the hammer to evolve, adapt, Camtasia, because they're not playing the same game. None of
Right.
them are saying we are the tool, the core tool. They're all kind of saying we're the extra to go alongside. And that is such a clever way to market a tool right now. Because
Yeah.
no business really is moving away from that kind of bespoke feel stuff. That storyline or captivate is very much still the core. But to be able to then say, oh, that's great, but here's something you can offer your people that's a bit different, it's quicker, it's cheaper, it's engaging, wow. And it's much lower cost.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's, in terms of marketing moves right now, rather than taking Articulate on, you can so easily just sell yourself as a lower cost add-on to what that's offering.
Yeah.
And then not have to fight them on functionality that actually no one needs.
Yeah, exactly.
And just slowly pick up
There was
market
a
share like
list.
that.
That's a targeted
But,
list for me. So I guess all right. Well, before we get too far off topic with that, let's finish up the Articulate story real quick.
yeah,
As far as what else came in. So if you haven't updated your Articulate, do it because you get the 360 editor. That's going to be super cool, but you're probably not going to use for a year, Tom.
we shall see. I've got so many people excited about it today. Like
Okay.
at work, I think it might happen.
All
Like,
right. All right. I'm excited. I'm excited to see when when features are actually adopted. But here's what else the update did. Because we got a lot of new things in it. So, and these are a little smaller, like 360 image editor, the rest combined, as far as how impactful these are. Custom background color for players. So now you can actually brand stuff. You're not, when it comes to the modern player, you can do something a little bit more branding. You can also add images to the start of your course pages and brand it to, you can do cover photos. They've added cover photos, which is a lot nicer than faded play button.
yes,
Always
yeah.
nice. Choose two colors. I'm just going to read these straight off. One light, one dark for accessibility focus indicator. So it's visible against any background in your course. So what's the rest of your background? Here's some colors for accessibility. Make sure it's not bad, essentially. You can... I haven't exactly processed all of these either. You can finally increase the size of captions.
Woo!
Up to 200% what they originally had.
Those would be some big ass captions.
Yeah, right.
It's just half a screen of caption, just a little video in the corner.
They
But
at least preface it with make closed captions easier to read.
it's a revolutionary new idea for captions.
Make your video harder to see, but you get to make the closed captions easier to read.
Absolutely. But
Um,
that is useful functionality, it must be said.
alt text on course logos now. Neat. Text autofit. Thanks to your feedback, whatever that means, text autofit improvements are no longer enabled by default. Simply upgrade project text when you're ready to use the new autofit settings. So I'm hoping that they just don't. I hope that just means they haven't screwed with autofit. Like, remember what Camtasia did? Where, like, if you shrunk the text and the text had to get smaller, it didn't resize if you pulled the box back out.
Yeah.
So you shrink it to 4 point and then you pull it out. You've got to find the 4 point on it. I'm hoping they didn't do the same thing. Because Camtasia, that was stupid and you know it.
Yeah, it is. It was daft. I mean, Durong, text is an ongoing thing in Storyline. I think
Yeah.
the text formatting and editing in Storyline is so bad at this point. Something like autofit has almost become an irrelevant conversation. Just
Mhm.
because if I can't even get my font spaced as I want to, the fit becomes irrelevant. Which is why,
Right.
sadly, so often as like if it's important to the design, I've had situations where I've had to work in Adobe InDesign or something, write the text out, export it as a freaking image,
Mhm.
and then alt text it into Storyline. That is
So
not okay,
no.
that is far more work than it should be just to have some justified sent to text. But apparently not so.
Mhm.
It got
Bunch
in
of
the
other hot
comments here.
fixes.
Designam, just
Oh,
anyone try Adapt.
isn't that Evolve? Just
Kind of. So Evolve is
the
built on the
engine?
Adapt framework. Adapt is the completely open source framework for it. Yes, there is a video on the IDT channel. God, I'm plugging a lot of videos this week about how to install the authoring tool, because that can be an experience involving command prompt and other such joyous things to install, because there is no installer. However, it is awesome, but you need to have a functioning knowledge of HTML and CSS to really benefit from using it. To me, that is the benefit of Evolve. For £30 a month, I get everything that's awesome about Adapt and the hosting, the review software, and all the additional functionality they have spent the time to build for me. Plus, I don't need a functioning knowledge of HTML and CSS to use it.
Nice.
Um, but Adapt, very cool if you do have that knowledge already. Um, Still haven't tried Adapt yet, Luke. In fairness, if you use an Evolve, you can use Adapt, but you'll just struggle to do some of the, like logic doesn't exist. Variables don't really exist in Adapt as we know them. You would need to code that through JavaScript. It is quite intensive, shall we say. But still a
Apparently,
cool tool.
speaking of logic, apparently there was a bug that they fixed. When duplicating
Oh,
question slides or importing them from a template, a hidden trigger could get added to the slides, causing them to be skipped in the published output. I've never
yes.
seen that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
They fixed that.
That's good, because it was really freaking annoying, because it didn't do it all the time. It would happen intermittently. Like I would find like once every 20 or 30 times you duplicated a question slide, this trigger would get added in. And you wouldn't notice, because why would it randomly add a trigger?
Why would
So
get
then
people to
you
look
would
for it?
yeah, you would publish it to review and click, 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 click. And because it just skips it, you wouldn't realise.
I gotta
And
look now. I gotta start looking at some of the stuff that I've been doing. But that's it for
it's
like the articulate stuff. They did a couple other hotfix things. Remember, and I'm still holding true to it because they haven't said otherwise. We're expecting a big mandatory 360 update in August.
yep.
They shared that a couple months ago. That hasn't gone away.
Yeah, I
So
think it'll be interesting. I genuinely, more and more now, I am thinking it's a security patch. I think it's going to be a major version tick over, but it's mostly going to be background stuff.
okay,
Um,
maybe.
maybe things like the 360 will move from beta to final and just become normal functionality. But I don't know. It feels to me like if they were going to do an actual feature launch, they wouldn't be launching loads of cool features at the minute. They'd be bottling them up and doing a big kind of kapow moment.
360 is beta.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just that plus the rest, and then you get this VR package nonsense thing
Oh
that's gonna jump
God.
in.
Articulate VR, wouldn't that be disastrous? That
It's
would.
in the name, man. 360. We already
Yeah.
know that they're not a full package and not very well rounded. So what else could it be?
Well, this is true. We're gonna tick over to Articulate 720, no doubt. That's for a full experience.
See, the
Um,
Nintendo 64 gamer nerd says if they go articulate 1080, there better be snowboards. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be cool.
It's my old X games. I used to care about the X games.
But yeah, so I think, do you know what? Storyline is trying harder than it was, in my opinion.
I'll give you that.
I remember when we first started doing these at the start of the year, I was a bit fed up with Articulate. They had not released any useful functionality in a long time, and there were a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
I feel like less of my day now is spent going, why has this done that? And slightly more of my day is spent thinking, oh, we could dot dot dot, which is a nice change to make. So I guess we've kind of done the update on storyline there. Then I guess. So why don't we do
Yeah.
the rest of the tech updates actually?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Um. So as usual, if there are any specific programs that you want me to take a look at, please let me know. Right now, I really just kind of focus on the big three that we know of, which is Camtasia, Storyline, and Captivate. And spoiler alert, Captivate is always they didn't do anything and it still sucks. Um, I'm sorry, guys, but that's on you. Do something, and we'll be fine. Um. anyway. So that covered Storyline. Let's talk about Camtasia. If you are looking at any Camtasia updates, one, I'm going to continue to say if you got 2021 Camtasia when it first came out, please update it. It's so bad when it came out. It was really bad and completely unusable. They have fixed 9/10 of the actual problems that made it unusable. They continue to do so. But June 30th, 2021, the most recent release, they tend to do these once a month. So we are like so poorly timed that we're probably gonna get an update tomorrow. Just how that works. This time it's a heck of a lot more about the recorder. I feel like we did this. Yeah, because we were late last time.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, everything's recorder, and they added LUT visual effects, and I could do color mapping. There's nothing new with Camtasia since our last adventure, because our last adventure was in July.
That is very
Um,
true.
So that's what I got for you. But if you want to know what that one was, it was a whole bunch of cool things with the recorder that now we can actually have a countdown before you start recording, and you can set that to whatever the heck you want. If you had the recorder in your screen, it grabbed the recorder on a screen capture. So they took that off, which is
It's exciting
only
stuff.
bad if you're trying to show people how to use the recorder, then it's bad. But other than that, you're fine. Yeah, source file names, truncated and standalone projects. Yeah, we did this last month.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
but I'm excited. So this is funny. Regarding work. So I also started a new job a while ago, like this month. For like the third time in a row, I've become the company graphic designer for training materials. Because they're like, oh, you have graphic design knowledge, you have video production knowledge. Our stuff looks like trash. Can you come in and fix it? So I'm actually actively building a Camtasia template right now. And I'm going to be doing the same thing for Storyline, which includes style guides and things like that. And I find it funny that I've done it every single time. But thankfully, this time, the company's actually listening to me. And I get to pitch them on Camtasia, and they get to look and say, this is actually useful instead of this was somebody else's job. We just didn't tell you and you're fired.
Nice.
That's not a joke. Wish that were. But
Yeah,
anyway, so it's really been, I will say this, and we're just touting products apparently is what we're doing. Now that I've really gotten to dig in without any pushback, without any threat to really see how Camtasia 2021's team collaboration stuff works. Oh my God, have they nailed it. Man, oh man, they can only just do better with this. And I'm loving how easy it is to be like, I'm going to pass this to an entire team of 16 people, and everything's drag and drop. And now if I want to get into a video, you don't have to get into the video to change the text. I can say this part of this asset of the video, make this a form and just have somebody type in the text over here. And I can put a description of here's what I need you to put in here.
See,
and they do that. The video updates. It's foolproof. I can get SMEs to make videos now. That's how nuts this is. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's always struck me as strange that so many of the platforms struggle so much with collaborative access. Like the likes, this isn't new. This is stuff that Microsoft, heck, even Apple nailed this 3-4 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
and especially now, it should be a priority. And yet, the idea of easily sharing a storyline file isn't fathomable. It can't be done.
Can you make a slide bank? Can I not have to have a scene of every template slide that I have and send that over? Can we just have a bank of things?
I mean, in theory, you can share templates, but actually transferring, like, I've built this course, you need to edit it, here's the file. It is such a pain in the arse. Whether it's text randomly moving around, fonts not aligning, and rather than just being, well, that's okay, install the font. Oh, no, no,
Mhm.
no, 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 because now the sizing will move. And what about linked
Yeah.
materials? Nope, they don't go with the file, so you'll need to download them, relink them manually on every occasion in which they are linked. It's
I
just one
hope
of those unnecessary things.
I hope that the trend in 2022 is these companies embracing that remote work is a thing. And what does that look like? As well as embracing the fact that people don't download everything to an iOmega and hand it to somebody else now.
Tell me
Um,
about it.
can you guys
It's
actually be the cloud services? Like, appreciate collaboration as a cloud entity?
Well, this is it, isn't it? And again, there are companies that are. Sorry, I keep going out of
Yeah.
frame today. I'm going the wrong way. So you look at tools like Domino. So Domino has a storyline esque tool and a cool Rise esque tool that's called Flow, and
Yep.
both are entirely cloud based. Perfect.
Yeah. Done.
Perfect. Easy to collaborate because it's just a cloud based service. Why, oh why, oh why is Storyline still locally installed? It makes no sense. It's frustrating. It means even just swapping between my own machines is a pain.
So I will make one request. Articulate, if you're watching, please don't ever let Storyline become Mac compatible. I don't want companies having an excuse to give me a Mac instead of a PC. Like, it's burn a good sell.
In fact, if you could make it so it doesn't even work with like virtual desktops on a Mac device, that would be
Be
perfect.
great.
Yeah, no, this is. If there was ever a slim chance Apple were going to sponsor this show, it's gone from I'm not keen on Apple to no one should have Apple devices ever. But that is true, and they shouldn't. It's just one of those things, I suppose. So great. System design LRS for what? I'm not quite sure where we're going with that one. Um,
So, well, I
Let me
mean,
know.
LRS, that's like learning record store. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
it's your like a CMS for learning stuff. Um, that'd be neat too.
Oh, I
Like
see. Like inbuilt to the tool. That would be
yeah,
awesome.
like
I would.
inbuilt into the
Oh,
tool as opposed to needing like a to go get another like separate CMS type of thing.
so hot take on that one. I genuinely think that if your authoring tool is billing itself as being XAPI compatible, you should be providing an LRS because that is an essential component in utilizing
Mm.
XAPI calls. A lot of LMSs do not or they support the content being hosted. They do not support custom XAPI calls. So you're going to need an external LRS for it. Plus, even if you've written it, testing it's a right pain. I can't
Mhm.
test an XAPI set of calls by putting on a live LMS for a company. That'd be mental. You can't put something you're testing on a production platform. So, I agree. Rather than, or in addition to, rather the likes of Review 360, we should be getting I don't know, an LRS 360 or a Data 360 or whatever that sits on there. And, it's just easy. On Canvas, only Scum. Well, there you go. Exactly. Some LMSs like Canvas, Moodle, all this sort of thing. Again, only my take, but it's time for them to die. Any
Yep.
platform that is not willing to move on beyond Scorm should not be on the market in 2021. Quite frankly, I don't think Scorm should be on the market in 2021. We've killed Flash. The next thing needs to be Scorm. It has had its day. It's done. It's tired. It's limited. And we just need to move on. It's not being kept around because it's great technology. It's being kept around because L&D is terrified of change. That's
Yeah,
the honest
balloons.
truth. Prime example. Learning objectives must start with one of these 6 words because the book said so.
That
This
was
is
like
who
one of
we're
the
dealing
biggest
with.
things from IDTX when Kara North, God love her, was talking about just her approach on learning objectives and just how it's like they're in the meta tags. We don't care. It's like I love you so much.
This. I mean, to be honest, it worries me whenever I see a course these days and slide 1 or 2 is in this course you will. It's like, oh no 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 no
Help me with
no no
change
no no.
management.
But there it
Uh,
is, time and time again, time and time again. University courses, workplace courses, school courses, people who should all know better. But there they are, learning objectives for all to see.
See, if you took
Um,
mine, it wouldn't have been about what are you going to learn. It's you figuring out on your own, you applying it yourself, being like, I see how that applies to my day. That's better.
This is. I always used to say, if you have to tell someone what the important parts of your course are, it's a really badly designed course. Um,
Yeah, right.
it's a bit like needing to tell people where the next button is. If they can't figure it out, you've done a bad job. Um, but hey, I guess I shouldn't pick too much. So I'm sure someone will pick holes in my work. But
Yeah.
oh well, never mind.
And if somebody wants to
Um,
pay me to add 17 next buttons in a row, you're going to get 17 next buttons in a row, and I'm going to get a beer after. That's what's going to happen.
and I'll pretend it never happened. Uh,
Exactly. But hey, let's talk a little bit IDTX.
hmm.
Trying to transition in a little bit. I'm curious if you have any ideas on like numbers and your peak and how
Yeah, so we
share
had
share that.
so this thing I've been speaking to a lot of people about numbers because I think there was a like, I made some errors when setting this up in the first place. So let me tell you how it went down. I decided to run a conference about 2 months before I wanted the run dates to be, which was not a good start to this story, let's be honest. It sounds a little bit stupid, and it was, in
As
hindsight.
shown by the fact that I don't think there was a single project management talk in IDTX.
No, 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 we don't do project management.
Yeah, so that wasn't
We're
a clear like, don't call me out.
Yeah, this is. I like to think that I worked in an agile way, i.e., I had no plan, no direction, and we pulled it together at the last minute. That to me has always been what working in an agile way tends to bloody mean. Um,
I hate how accurate that is.
it's rather sad, isn't it? But anyway, yes. So, job one was finding a platform. I know a lot of people who run events, they pretty much all use AirMeet. So, I went to AirMeet and then had a. I'm not even going to say small, I had a significant heart attack when I noticed how expensive it is. So, let me put it this way. Of the 3 to 4 months we had been running Patreon and Buy Me a Beer, every penny of what that generated, and the IDT store, in fact, every penny that generated at the time of purchase almost covered half.
Sheesh.
Almost. So this was expensive. And there was this big thing about why did we get so few tickets? We bought 500 seats. 500 seats in a conference that was 2 months away. I felt this was sufficient. Those tickets went
No.
very quickly. Those
Yeah, man.
tickets, by the time people were putting out a I'm speaking at post, the tickets were almost all gone. So
I mean,
that
oh
they
darn.
went. Sorry?
Oh darn. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was one of those kind of moments where, can I have more tickets? Can I have more tickets? Couldn't afford more tickets because the problem is that then the tickets start to creep up. It would have cost about $8 per person beyond those
Oh, gee.
500. Yeah, that escalates quick. So then you're left with a bit of a choice on, well, look, the options are charge people for what would have been a free event. That was a no-go. I wouldn't have felt right doing that. Get a
Right.
sponsor for what was billed as a no corporate sponsor event.
Yeah,
Again,
and we keep shutting down sponsors left and right on this channel, so
this is it. No one's going to ever, I don't think. Or, shell up the money myself. Well, I would love to have done that, but as of yet, not a millionaire. So the only solution available really was, we'll tell you what, let's live stream the event to YouTube and Twitch and give everyone the best possible opportunity to join in. Fine, I thought. This'll be okay. So, of those 500 tickets that were claimed, with people going, yep, I'm going to attend, I'm going to attend, I'm going to attend, how many do you think registered on the actual delivery platform. 500 tickets sold.
So when we say registered on the delivery platform, that means actually went through the things required for them to attend any session.
Typed in their name and email address. It's not a
Typed
high
in their name
barrier, but yeah.
of 500. Let me think. I'm gonna say 110.
Okay, so it's a bit more than that. But it
Okay,
was far
I feel
lower than
better.
I thought. So in total registrations were 372.
372. Hey, you get in the chat. They guessed 40, so I feel better.
Okay, yeah, that was we 372 logged into AirMeet. People who stayed on the platform for the chats really varied. So certainly on Saturday we had a tiny audience. It kind of varied anywhere between went as low as 28 at one point, and we got as high as about 70 on one of the others. Friday was a bit better. We averaged 130 to 200 people at any given time. We got a decent number on YouTube. We got a decent number on Twitch.
Yeah.
Therein lies another problem. So, almost immediately after each session, YouTube switched to private the video and locked it.
I was
Never
wondering
seen
about
that
that.
before. Yeah, this was weird. So what's going on there? I get a wave of emails each night. You are in breach of YouTube's community standards. What the heck is this? Now, I'm not going to lie, frustrating in terms of I said I would share these recordings, but also that's a lot of watch hours for a YouTube channel. For those who don't know, watch hours are kind of everything on a YouTube channel when you're setting it up. It's how the algorithm knows whether your channel is being watched, how how popular it is, how well it should be shared, and eventually if you're allowed to monetize the channel. Which I've always been very clear is part of the plan, because I want it to become self-sustaining. So claim of image. I don't know what you mean, but
Like a copyright claim?
Ah, right, I see what you mean. No, it wasn't. This is interesting, because that was what I thought. I thought, oh my god, has someone used something they shouldn't? But then it was every talk. Every single one. So I went down the list. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? If anyone's ever tried to speak to customer service at YouTube, you will know it's impossible unless you happen to be famous. So I put exactly that on Twitter, and suddenly Team YouTube dropped me a thing. It is basically me saying, could you make it any more difficult to speak to a human being? In they came. What's the problem? Ah, yes, we'll look at that. Little bit onwards, little bit onwards. So by the end of 2 days, I had 21 videos. With well over, and it's a couple of hundred watch hours, which would have made a huge difference to my channel because it's a small channel, you know. Yeah. Huge impact, all locked, therefore not counting. None of the likes count, none of the comments count, none of the chats are recorded. It was a real bummer. Finally, turns out it's not YouTube's fault at all. It's not my fault. It's not the speaker's fault. AirMeet's API has not been verified with YouTube.
Oh my god, what?
Yep.
That seems so basic.
This is super basic. So,
oh
yeah,
man.
that basically means they're not coming back. Because YouTube were just like, look, you know, we can't break the rules. The rules are there for a reason. This API is not trusted. It's not verified. All you can do is re-upload the videos.
That's infuriating.
So, yeah. So all the content for IDTX that is on the platform has been re-uploaded again. So we've just taken the hit of all those watch hours gone, likes gone, comments, engagement gone, and we're starting again. So that was a stressful couple of days. I'm not going to lie. That is the reason we won't be using AirMeet for any future events.
Gotcha.
That is everything else. There were some frustrations, some issues, all these things, but no. That was just the kind of straw that broke the camel's back, because there's just no reason for it. If you aren't verified to stream to YouTube, don't offer it as functionality. You know, it's a bit like if Storyline had launched this beta for 360 images and then gone, but you can't upload 360 images because we'll delete them as soon as you publish your course.
Yeah,
It's
that's stupid.
so yeah. So next time around, we will be looking for or I'm already in fact looking for a new platform to run events on. So if anyone does have any ideas, suggestions, hit me up on in the messages, hit me up in the chat, and I will gladly sort of look into anything. To be honest, we are looking to run another event before the end of this year. Ideas on a postcard as to what people would like to see. Discord, I so thought about Discord. Lots of people do not like Discord. I don't. I'd say I don't get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
Discord has a kind of reputation among people in certain groups of people as being this kind of shady online environment. Then you get to Discord and you realise, well, it's only as shady as the people there in your server make it. So if there are dodgy people in the environment in which you're in, you know, it's a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, I'm a
Luke,
nerd. I'm a part of a lot of kind of nerdy discords. I get that.
yeah.
It's hard to look at it and see it as something professional. I can
Oh
say
yeah,
that with very
that's
confident. It does not look
yeah,
that does not look like a professional thing. It is the
no,
Facebook versus LinkedIn of networking tools.
absolutely. Discord is for me the. I use Discord. I use it a lot, and obviously the IDT forum is on there. The reason I do that on Discord, if I'm honest, is because I love Discord. For me, Discord is a far nicer place to have a community than almost anywhere else because it strips away the crap of the algorithm did this or what kind of content, blah, 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 blah. It's
Yeah.
just a place to post stuff. It's a good old fashioned chat room, effectively.
Yeah.
However, woe betide the person that brings shadiness in. They'll be gone. That is not the
Mhm.
environment on a lot of Discord servers.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of Discord servers became an issue really when kids found the internet and internet gaming. However, we're not kids, and our channel isn't about gaming, and there won't be creeps in it.
Yeah,
So
it's about
it's one of those things.
vacuums.
Exactly, it is currently the primary discussion is about vacuum cleaners, which has been odd. I'm so tempted to shoot a video. So tempted to do some video reviews of Hoovers and share them on there.
Can't help.
But
I have is a Dyson, and the filter screwed up, and I think it only took 3 months. So I have questions. Not a fan. Not a fan.
no, I think Dyson's a bit naff. But
Is
let's
Clubhouse
not.
still a thing? Have you tried that
Oh,
yet?
to be honest, Clubhouse has now done this. Anyone can now join. The fact they did that crappy little, it's an exclusive club. You have to have a link from someone who's already a member to get in. Bullshit.
I remember.
Sorry, not interested. The
Was it
moment
on
they did
Facebook?
that, yeah.
Well, I mean, Facebook's elitism was specifically colleges and then education and whatnot.
This is
But
it.
yeah, I do remember the exclusive club crap and like why?
Yeah.
Are you
And
afraid of the stress tests? Like, I mean, it's clearly how you avoid a stress test.
yeah, this is exactly it. And I get it. It probably did generate some buzz, but I've just got I got no time for that. And making it only on iOS for a certain amount of time, what's that?
Yeah, what was that?
Well, I'll tell you what that is. It's only for people with premium devices. Let me tell you, my phone
Yeah.
costs just as much as an iPhone, and I love technology. I'm the sort of person you should be going after because I'll give you money for stuff.
Did they forget about Google Glass and the glass holes? That's what we
This
called
is
them.
no, this is
They were
it.
the glass holes. All right. So, does anybody in
It's
chat actually still use Clubhouse? Have you ever used Clubhouse? Is it worth anything other than I go to a bar and I talk to people without the bar and the people? Because that's what I saw it as. Of you can just come walk in and just have a chat, like a formulated chat.
and this is why I didn't understand why it became so immediately popular. You can do that on literally any existing platform.
Yeah. Poor Google Plus is like, we thought of that first, and then they
tell
went
me
away.
about it. Google Plus never got as much love as it should. Now, don't get me wrong, Google killed it far too early in its lifespan. They didn't develop it enough, but that's what Google does. You know, launch it, whatever. Has it made money 2 years later? No, right, kill it. That's kind of how Google do things,
Yep.
which in some ways is quite cool, but does mean that sometimes they create something awesome, don't realize it, and then someone else picks it up. And I
Mhm.
think you're right. This is an exact example of that.
I think that is a perfect description, Luke. I
Oh,
appreciate that. A pitch platform for influencers. Done. Full stop. I totally agree with that.
could totally see people selling timeshares on Clubhouse. It's that kind of, you've won a prize, come in now, buy this condo.
I mean,
You know,
Discord does it too a little bit, right? Because you can restrict access to a server unless you're like a
yeah,
Patreon member, because that's a
yes,
thing. I mean, being a nerd, we have a
yeah,
ton
yeah,
of
no,
that.
absolutely. I do see that as slightly different. That isn't a case of someone has to invite you in. This is a paid
Sure.
service. I don't
Yeah,
mind a
that's
paid
fair.
service. I have no issue. That same as like I'm a member of a couple of Discord servers that are limited because, for instance, one of it is a group of 6 of us who all want to write but are lazy and so need each other to poke each other with a stick and go, share your writing this week, share your writing. We don't want that to be anyone else. It's just us sharing that stuff, and that's why I like Discord. Is that we can do that? They don't charge us a penny, and yet we're taking their server space. And it's the same with the IDT channel. Using Discord there, it's a nice enough platform. Luke said he hates the UX. It is old school chat room UX. They've deliberately left it that way.
It's not
Um,
Merc, man. Or Merc.
oh god, this is it. It's what I used to use, BattleNet. Anyone else
Oh
PC
God.
game ever use BattleNet? It's
Separate thing
yeah.
off on the side. I was such a
Oh,
BattleNet kid.
yes, absolutely, but it was terrible. Like god
Yeah,
awful.
just
Really,
trolled
really
everybody.
awful. That's, yeah,
I'm trying to think of what
but
other. I'm trying to think if we had any other in 2021 big tools that like were like the mega fads that didn't mean shit
I
other
think
than
that.
Parlor, and let's not talk about
Oh,
that.
it's not that. Do you know what? From an L&D perspective, do you know what's really become big that I'm still confused by? TikTok. And L&D people
LND and
trying.
TikTok?
Yeah, there seems
Why?
to be this real trend of how can we recreate TikTok from an L&D perspective, and I just want to scream every time I hear it.
Oh,
I'm so tired of it. How can we make a 30-second funny video that imparts information? Don't. Why would you do that? Why would
yeah.
you make that how people are going to learn in your business?
We had nano learning before it was cool, guys. Stop
Yeah,
there.
it's
I've never. Oh, have any of you guys ever seen anybody act like a learning L&D anything try to use TikTok? That baffles me. That blows my mind.
the number of clients that have come to me asking about it. It's bizarre, really is.
What
And
do you want to get out of it?
this is
Like, what
what
could
none
you
of them.
possibly want to get?
This is it. It seems to just be that blind engagement point.
Yeah,
I want
it's
them to
ooh the
engage.
shiny
This,
thing. We have to be a part of the shiny thing, like VR
yeah, yeah. This is it.
and
It's
mobile. I
yep.
have to call out mobile. I have to call out how much garbage mobile is for training. I loathe it, and I don't know why it became such a big thing.
Well, it
I
didn't. You just
haven't
think
seen
it
it.
did.
Sorry,
Well,
no, that's true. All right, that's fair. But like when
yeah.
I did a bunch of job searching and job hunting. Mobile's another one of those trends that just
Mm,
died. It just turned into nothing, and it was supposed to be a big thing. That's why Rise exists. That was half of its selling point
yeah.
was the responsive.
But
And
again,
like if I'm
prime
taking a
example.
crap, I'm not.
Yeah.
But that's why TikTok is, because they learned if you're taking it, if you're in the bathroom, you're not watching Rise, you're watching TikTok. They're like, we need to get on TikTok.
This is exactly it. But to me, it's another prime example of if someone had just stopped and thought for 30 seconds, this stuff would be obvious. Is
Yeah,
everyone suddenly going to stop using a desktop and switch to a mobile phone? No. Why? Businesses don't give everyone a mobile phone. End of discussion. There
yeah,
you go. That's why mobile learning has never taken off. You want to know why TikTok learning will never take off? Because people don't want to go to TikTok to learn.
yeah.
They want to go to TikTok to see some moron do a stupid dance for 30 seconds, or a bird hug someone unexpectedly for rescuing it, or all this other stuff you see on TikTok. And that's fine because it's an entertainment platform. It's the
Yeah.
same as this obsession with we're going to be the Netflix of learning. Why would you bill yourself as the Netflix of learning?
Don't do
Your
that.
content will never be as good as the worst thing on Netflix. You're
So
setting yourself up for a massive failure.
I'm looking at some of the other acquisitions. I'm looking at some of the other recognized in the awards, and here are the features that I'm seeing. Things that were supported. So recently, Tatara Engage named top 20 learning
Hmm.
experience platform by training industry uh, syndicate, whatever the heck we want to call them. But I'm looking at it. Informal learning activities such as collaboration, knowledge sharing, content curation, content discovery, bringing learning into the flow of work, making learning more accessible, collaborative workspaces, resource playlists, surveys, or just some of the new ways that learners and subject matter experts can organize. What's not in there? Mobile. So the technology dork nerd trends are not a part of this.
No.
And I think that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about 2021 as we look at the acquisitions, as we look at the funding, is it's putting a lot of effort in, wait a second, this shouldn't be just trend specific. These look like more mature funding like companies. These look like more mature funding rounds. They look like more mature awards and acknowledgments. And getting away from the what's the fun cool thing. VR was not included in this list. Things that are trend. These are basics that everybody sucks with. Informal learning activities, nobody does that. Collaboration, we just talked about nobody doing that.
Hmm.
Knowledge sharing, don't get me started. Content curation, we joked about that in chat. um Man, this is almost like some weird revolution of the fundamentals, as now we've gone back into a virtual space and everybody who thought they were hot shit just looks and says, oh, we don't know anything,
Yep.
and then they got to go back to basics. Maybe that's the true 2021 takeaway, is people realize they weren't ready to be serious about what they were doing. And that's what we're going to see more of. That'd be awesome. God,
That
that'd be awesome.
that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? It's what's funny. You know what? It's like that. I put out a post earlier this week on LinkedIn with some information from Learning Science Weekly and asking about how we get more kind of inquiry-based questions and learning into our
Mhm.
content. No one shared an idea. Not one person. Got some likes, got some shares. No one could share an idea. Ended up chatting with a couple of people. Just don't do it. We all know that inquiry based learning is one of the most effective ways to get people to explore ideas, problem solve, come up with new solutions.
Yeah.
But what is it? Is it that difficult, really, to ask people what they think? Because that's all we actually have to do.
Because it
Just give
requires
them,
thought, right?
yeah, this is it.
So-
There's no interaction button to create that for you, there's no
yeah.
template.
So I'm going to bring my nerd experience into it real quick. I mean, as a car, if I know you do a little car gaming and dabble in it, you know
Mm.
the concept of a meta. The meta. And what is the meta always? It's the thing that plays itself, the thing that's so efficient, the thing that takes no thought whatsoever, takes no real talent. It's just built correctly to run off. And I think to your point of that, it's just the interaction, the inquiry that requires thought. It requires you to know something. It requires you to have the comprehension to react
Yeah,
correctly to something that you don't know is coming. And I hope that we move away from as a learning industry from the trend of how do we make it so that way there's no reaction to something we don't know is coming. Let's
yeah.
just be smarter. Let's just try to be smarter people.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? But we got in the chat here the Kineo LMS plus LXP is on another level for the Tutora pack. I mean,
I've got
I'll
to
be
learn more.
honest, and it's not a particularly popular viewpoint. I'm not a fan of Kineo LMS.
Uh,
Sorry. I know it's everyone's favourite thing in the right now, and I'm hearing it a lot. For
oh no!
me,
Look at the
it's
thumbs down button on your YouTube. I'm kidding. It's not.
but no, yeah, it's just not for me. It's not for me. Um, too many weird. The biggest thing, if I'm honest, too many integration problems. Too many
Hmm.
IT departments having a hard time getting it to talk to other stuff. And I think sometimes when we're looking at platforms as learning people, that's what we forget is that, yeah, we like the front end or the back end or the whatever, but some poor IT sod's got to link this up to an existing infrastructure, and it needs to be real easy. Otherwise, IT will shoot down your project, and the
Hmm.
business will be a lot quicker to listen to an infrastructure engineer than an instructional designer. Trust me, I have been in that argument. And rightly so. Their job is on day to day, in terms of running the business, their job is far more important because they keep everything running, like actually running.
Right.
Whereas we quite often deliver content that's completely ineffective and doesn't achieve much. Uh, hopefully not. But as
Nobody
far
knows
as
how
the
to get
business is
feedback
concerned,
anyway, so we can't verify that.
exactly.
As long as
Um,
people said I like the training and their NPS score, we did a perfect job.
this is it.
That's
It's
a trend that
interesting
needs to
there.
die, by the way.
Yeah. So my new topic on the job is gamified at a university. So that's interesting. In the higher education world, I dare say that doesn't need to be connected up to anything. It's probably freestanding because you're not going to be dealing with a SAP HR infrastructure and a need to report for disciplinary reasons or anything like that. Whereas in businesses, there's almost always something like that.
Mhm.
Because your platform will need to integrate with a wider network. So maybe in a higher education space, if it's truly standalone, it might be perfect. Because it's a decent system. My issue with it is just that back end stuff, and it's only from experience. I don't do it myself. I gave up trying with it when so many IT people didn't want to work with it. Um,
Let me. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask chat the same question. At the same time, guys, which we're on a delay. Um, I'm thinking about again trends that
hmm.
just fizzled and died. And I can't get away from gamification to the level that people wanted it to be. Like gamification was just this hot shit idea. Oh my gosh, let's make a bingo card. Let's do a thing where you're going to do a run and you're going to progress things forward in a gamified kind of way, and we wanted to go
Oh
off the
yes.
deep end with what that looked like. Did that survive or is that dying? I feel like it's dying, but that's me. I've got a limited view, so that's why I'm asking.
I feel like it's dying. I feel like it should never have been born. Um, Games have a place in learning. Video games, in my personal opinion, in the workplace, don't. Because they are a colossal waste of time and money. Two things businesses have never wanted to give to learning. And even from a learning perspective, I don't want my learners playing video games.
Right?
That makes me look like an idiot, quite frankly, because my job as a workplace instructional designer working within a business or for businesses is to get their people to be able to do their job either that they couldn't do before or do it better. That's the goal. Are
That's
you
sadly
honestly
build your
going to Yeah, is someone honestly going to tell me the most efficient and effective way for someone to learn how to do their job or how to do their job better is a video game? Are you kidding me? Like
no.
what job is that? Eh,
Not even a video game designer would be able to
no,
learn anything from that.
this is it. At its core concept to me, it failed. Now, taking some game elements and putting them within a learning experience, I'm on board. Just adding a
Mhm.
little bit of fun to an assessment or an interaction, cool, whatever. I'm on board. Anything that keeps the learner kind of wanting to do something, brilliant. But an actual video game, no, I'm sorry. Much like VR, we got very excited about the technology, very excited about the possibility of creating a cool thing, and we completely forgot what we're employed to do, which is to ask the simple question, how can I make someone be able to do this or do it better?
I'm randomly looking at I just typed in I went to LinkedIn and I typed in gamification in jobs just because I want to see what I get.
Oh, it'll be on
I'm still
everything.
poking through. There's only one company that actually has gamification in the job title,
I
and
mean,
I
the
don't know
fact
who
that there's even one is a bit disturbing.
who
That's
is it. Let's see.
just while
Uh,
Joey's doing that, I can see there are loads. There are quite a few people watching back on YouTube. If you are up to date, come over to Twitch. That's where the chat is. And I can see here we've got Luke agreeing, dead already, and it has never seen the scenario. I would assume that's never seen it, as in you've never seen the scenario where it's better to build a video game than a learning experience. Like, don't get me wrong, I love video games. I like playing Halo. I like playing Civ. I like all these things. They're not learning experiences. You know, I don't turn on an Xbox or go onto Steam to learn something. I go on to blow stuff up because otherwise I'll eventually do it to someone who annoys me at work. You know, it's a way to blow off steam. The last thing I want is some kind of assessed message buried within it. So what are you finding on LinkedIn, Joe?
It is so. I hate this. I hate that I could have guessed this. I hate that I could have guessed the industry.
Mm.
Um, let's see. All right, I'll give it to you. So, think of your industries. Think of industries that just exist in the world. Your automotives and your marketing and your health and all that. What industry do you think would try to gamify the living crap out of themselves?
Oh, there's so many that I've seen do
I'll give you a
it,
hint. It's very
but
people
it's
focused.
oh god, that's even more worrying. I want to say it's going to end up being customer service or sales.
Wellness
Not
and
quite.
health.
Really?
Wellness and health. And
Luke, what do you think?
you know why I could have guessed that? You know what really pisses me off that I could have guessed that is that last year I still kind of have a big problem when it comes to like project managing my life and habit forming. So I started looking at apps that did that, and the flood of habit forming gamification crap that exists out there. I could have seen that. And they all fizzled. They're all trash. You never follow through with it because you have to develop a habit to check the app half the time, and the app doesn't teach you how to check the app.
Nope, that's it.
Um,
That's it.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so health and wellness is the one company that has covered this. Everything else is, they're ID and instructional designers. I'm seeing them. If you type in gamification, thankfully all you get is instructional designers. But like it's just not a thing. Assign discipline. Let's see. So this is let's do one for Zoom. No, let's do one for Ring. Ring security. Let's find what is gamification for Ring security.
So here in the chat we've got gamify asks for a measurement of learning, to be by KPI or competency. This is exactly it. What
Preferred qualifications. Experience with emerging trends for learning content creation. Examples, gamification, and XAPI. And that's it. It's you Googled what does an ID need to do?
Yep. Luke's asking, what was your search that brought up health companies or the health and well-being companies?
I just searched in LinkedIn gamification in the United States. That's it. That's the only word I
In the
did.
United States. See, I asked for Luke's input here because Luke works for a health and well-being company. Or has just started as their learning manager, and the stuff they're doing is awesome. It's exactly what they should be doing.
I just realized I should have known what the logo is. Because the logo is WW. And I forgot that's how Weight Watchers rebranded. So it's Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers wants to gamify your life.
Yeah, why not? I suppose they've tried everything else and it doesn't work. I think this is just one of
It's
those.
such a bad rebrand.
It's one of those topics that I have no problem with it broadly if it wasn't always held up as the answer to things, and if people could just accept its limitations. Like, there's not really another section of L&D where we don't say, look, this is cool, but here are the limitations. We do that with lectures and textbooks and e-learning and PDFs and animation and everything else. But for some reason, gamification gets this little corner of itself that just says, oh, this is so engaging, this is so cool, this is great. And I just question, again, what happens when a business says, so what have we achieved and how much did it cost us?
I think I just found it. I think I found the perfect way to explain gamification. Just the perfect sign of where it exists in the world.
Go for it.
I'm gonna read this to you, and it's gonna be so vomit inducing. We might have to censor the stream. Gamification manager. Company called One Of. That's a hint of where we're going. One Of. As part of our One Of technical team, the gamification manager will define and execute on strategies designed to engage our users and make NFT collecting accessible to the average music fan. By building game mechanics into our product, you'll enhance the user experience and inspire our users to keep collecting through One Of. You're passionate about creating dynamic, innovative, fun, and interactive experience and skilled as understanding and interpreting a user's journey on our platform. So yeah, NFTs, baby. Non-fungible trash.
Pretty much. This
One
is
trend that's worthless, satisfying another trend that's worthless.
I love it. That's John, that is a match made in heaven right there. They can go and add no value to the world together. Wow,
Oh
that's
my god.
I mean, if anyone has another view on gamification, I mean, you're not going to speak up now, but please do. I'd like you to.
I would love to be
Yeah.
proven wrong in gamification because if anything, it inspires some creativity outside of in this course, you're going to learn blank.
Yeah.
Which I got to work on that with my company. I got
This
to work
is
on that
it.
with Orview.
It's yeah, and I think it's. I don't. As much as it annoys me, I can totally see why people jumped on it. The same reason we jumped on VR. I think genuinely, people in our industry want things to be better. We want to create great content. And so when a new tool comes on that we think might be able to lift us out of, in this course, you're going to learn, and now answer these 10 questions, and blah, 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 we jump on it, right? We see it, we see an opportunity, we go for it. But rather than looking for a tool that lifts us out of that, we just kind of need to take the harder road and say the reason learning is crap is because we're making it crap. That's the hard and honest truth about it. If it's badly designed learning, behind that is a bad instructional designer. And that doesn't mean they have to stay that way. Because, Christ, I look back at the content that I designed at the start of my career, it's dreadful. I would be embarrassed to show it to someone now, but that's what development is. It's about constantly improving yourself. It's what we expect from the people that we support inside businesses, and yet our industry seems to stubbornly say, no, we were right 30 years ago and we're staying there. You know,
I found the first training video I ever made, which wasn't for a training video, it was for a newsletter, but it was a training-esque, let's teach you something. It was from Constant Contact. I was like 100 pounds less. I was dangerously thin. It was bad. And the course was bad. The course was very bad. And it was in Flash. But
always
I
nice.
use it now. Huh?
Always nice.
Yeah, always nice if you don't know what you're doing. I was like, do I need to update this? No, we don't need to update this. It's always going to be the same. But it talked about specifically how Outlook looks at email and HTML as if it's a Word document.
Okay, yeah.
And why that created errors, why that created like gaps in images and whatnots. And for me, it was a support rep. So yeah, I saw it. Now I use it as a running gag in my portfolio of like, let's just go back to when I've got a crappy camera and I'm printing things out on a printer, showing you how Outlook prints things, but you can't see or understand anything. It's just me hitting a piece of paper really hard, saying this is why it's broken. It was really bad. I take pride in that.
Yeah, I think going back though and looking at what you used to do is useful. It's an exercise we should all engage in a little more often. Your camera is frozen, mate.
No,
it's always you. It's always you and your technology.
It's always me and my technology.
That's fine. You know what the problem is, right? You didn't gamify your system enough. If you had included some gamification, this wouldn't be happening.
What? You can't see how mad I am right now.
No, we can just see you putting one single face.
And I'm pointing.
This is it. It's a good look, dude. It's a good look.
I have my camera off, and it's still.
Well, that's
I don't
good,
understand.
Isn't it? Let's see where we are.
Ooh, there we go. I think things have changed.
Oh,
maybe
they've
now it's
changed.
twice.
That's unhelpful.
Bum, 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 bum. There we go.
Boom!
Now we're
Look at
back
that.
for 2 seconds, and then it froze again. That's it. I don't understand.
Are we... Oh,
Maybe.
it looks like you're back. Hey, you're back.
Yay. Sorry, everyone.
Indeed.
I don't know what to blame that on. But if you saw my IDTX, you know that I hate this. Like, I can't even blame the camera. That's a connection thing.
I'm totally gonna blame your cat for being in the room. Cats have that
Go for
effect. Like, I know
Luna?
mine do.
What?
See, then just ignore.
Just ignore. Just doesn't even care.
Maximum ignore. That's. Oh
Actually-
dear.
Actually.
Oh,
It could be your fault. It could be Hazel's fault. She did actually walk in the room and then it froze.
isn't that awesome? Look at this. Best stream ever.
That's right.
Due to corgi presence.
Welcome to the instructional doggy update. The intrusive doggy update.
That's it. Oh dear me.
Okay.
But yeah, so
I don't know where to segue from there.
We kind of originally at the start of that conversation we were kind of talking about IDTX and the joy that it was. But yeah, I've got to say overall the event was fantastic. The speakers were phenomenal. You know, the videos continue to get a good number of hits. We're recovering from having lost all the watch hours, which is nice. I would encourage everyone to, you know, like and comment on videos that they've enjoyed from IDTX, because that'll also inform me as to what kind of content people want to see next time around. Because whilst everyone did do a fantastic job, I'm somewhat unsure at the moment of how to manage it in the future, about whether or not to do more big kind of multi-day events, whether or not to actually do longer events like say a week, but only have like 2 or 3 talks a day. You know, just it's not whole days together. Do we do kind of like one day and say we're doing a whole day about e-learning development or a whole day about accessibility or whatever it might be, sort of really hyper focused events. I'd be really interested to hear from people in the chat, in the comments. You know, what would you like to see in future at IDTX based events, and who would you like to see? If there's a, I'm not going to be providing a platform for you know, influencers and mega trend people, but I would like to get people of topics that you're interested in. So you know, ideas on a postcard. That'll be hopefully announcing some stuff soon.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, was there anything else this week? I kind of feel like we've gone for quite a while and talked about quite a lot.
We did people making money and some acquisition stuff and what did Storyline do. And next month, we're going to talk about what really did Storyline do. The anger of Joey with the old VP. Yeah. All the things. Yeah, I think we did. I think
Been a
we
pretty
got
good
a full
episode.
lid here.
You can see how when we say having a plan would be generous, right? Like
Right.
This is an insight right now into just how much we wing this show every month.
Yeah.
But incredibly, this is month 7. This is ID update number 7.
Heck yeah.
Like this
That's
is
awesome.
this has been good. This has been very good. So we also need to start thinking about the December episode. What do we want to do? Largely because I have, if I'm honest, very little intention of coming up with an idea, because it will be December the... If I can find out what the date will be. My calendar's come off the wall. If there was ever any
your
doubt,
computer has a calendar.
This is the kind of nerdiness that goes on in my office. We have
That's
the Star
awesome.
Trek Cats calendar.
Luna, Star Trek. She doesn't care.
She does not care at all. Well, first of all, December, fantastic cat image. Check that out.
Nice.
That is awesome. But it is the 31st. It is actually New Year's Eve. I suspect you probably have a bit more of a life than me and will not be available on the 31st.
No, I don't actually. I have no life whatsoever, and chances are the wife is working, so we're good.
Oh,
I want
okay.
to look. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at the year in review,
Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm going to go
So,
see because we had a whole section on what the trends were, on what trends we
yeah.
expected in 2021, and I want to see it. I want to see how they played out.
So yeah, maybe we'll have a bit of a New Year's Eve live stream maybe, and welcome the new year with us bitching about the trends that were and weren't.
Yes, and we hope
But
goes away.
yeah, but ideas on a postcard for that as well. Then, guys, what would you like to see in terms of a stream in December? Because I'd like to do something little bit bigger, a little bit special, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe heck, maybe have some guests join us. You know,
yeah, and honestly,
there's
anything in general. Like we did this because we wanted to kind of put out just stuff that we don't really see a lot of in the industry. When we looked online for what kind of content do we see, it's a lot of what's a new theory, what's a new idea, what's a new trend and a thing that's been implemented. And we've tried to stray away from that and be like, what's happening with some businesses and software and updates, and then inject a little bit of editorial. But if there's something that you'd like to see more of, um, we would love to hear it. We would love to rock that out. Um,
absolutely.
like to see
Um,
more beer. We're more than happy to bring more beer.
oh,
I ran out
absolutely.
20 minutes ago.
I know, right? I was kind of sitting here thinking, do I have another beer? But the only other beer I have sat in the office has been sat here for ages because I really don't want to drink it. It's Mallow Laser Quest Marshmallow and Pineapple Hazy IPA. I mean,
That might not be bad. It's just if it's been sitting there, it might be bad.
like, I just,
Let
I
me see
I
it.
am not keen on sweet beers. This is the thing.
Oh,
Like I'm not keen on your sticky toffee beers or your salted caramel stouts. You know, I want a beer that makes you go like you've got a not quite got a lemon, but that bitterness to it. I
right.
like a bitter beer.
Nice.
So marshmallow and pineapple, that ain't doing it for me.
Man, we
Um,
got to get you out here for some West Coast IPAs and
that's
just get that in. Section about what they learned this year, what we learned this year.
oh okay, yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. What did we learn this year? Well, what did we learn this year? My God, uh, I could. I don't want to go on a rampage and burn every bridge in the L&D community, but we learned an awful lot this year. Let's be honest.
I think.
Do you know
I
what?
mean, if I learned just what a fad looks like. I think that's
Oh
where
yeah,
I've hit. What
yeah.
exactly does a fad look like? When everybody went virtual, it was really easy to be like, here's the new trend, here's the new thing, but it was blanketed, it was hidden
Mm,
behind a whole lot of fuzzy jargon that looked like it was tested
yes.
and proven. And Grant, I'm completely ruining the December episode. Whatever. I'll
No,
learn
but I
more
think
stuff by
that's.
then.
I don't. Yeah, there'll be plenty of rubbish uncovered in the industry between now and December. We will have
But
no
yeah,
shortage of topics.
something
Um,
coming out and saying that it's proven doesn't mean squat to me anymore. Even
show
somebody
me,
coming out and said research shows doesn't mean anything.
show me the data. Show me the sources. That's what it's
Yeah,
about.
show me a
Um,
damn example.
yeah, this is it. It's like that's been. It's funny looking back at that. I'm sure one of the things we kind of touched on was we all wished that people would do a bit more critical thinking when it comes to this stuff,
Yeah,
and I actually think it's got worse this year so far.
I don't
I've seen,
disagree.
yeah, I've
It's
seen
very
so many
very paint by
people
numbers.
taken in by new tools or online courses. This has been the freaking year of the I'm launching in a course for, um, and I've kind of reached my limit with it at this point.
I've had to
Um,
yell at a few friends of mine who have gone into that space of the I'm going to sell a course. I actually thought about it. I thought about putting it, and then I looked at the industry. I looked at kind of how that community gathered around it. And I was like, I hate this. I don't want to be this person. I feel like a used car salesman.
yeah, yeah, it's
That
a
needs to
funny old
go.
world. Yeah. And the thing is, there's been loads of kind of heated debate around it since obviously Kara North did her ID Academies thing, but it goes way, way beyond that, and it started way
Oh,
before that. There has been
Yeah.
a long and famous trend of people with no ability in a topic launching online courses
Mhm.
that take people's money, promise these grand things, and deliver absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing new, it's nothing specific to ID. But I do think the ID community suddenly woke up to it this year when people got made redundant and figured, I'll launch an online course.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
yeah, it's a sad moment, I think. But what can you do? What can you do?
You know,
Anyway,
we need to weed that out. We need to weed out people. We need to weed out garbage. Sorry, not to say that people are garbage, but sometimes people are garbage.
yeah,
You know, if your
I
intent
think
isn't good, if your intent isn't to
yeah,
teach, if you know that you can tap into that infomercial, everything's a disaster mentality and say, I've provided an answer at $60 a month for subscribing to something that I threw together in a half hour that doesn't answer any of that.
this is it. To
This
yeah,
we'll call it placebo training.
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call it.
And this is it to me. I mean, this is partially why we started the ID update.
Mhm.
Certainly it's why I started IDT. Is that, I would much rather put up a bunch of free videos. They're not a course. They're not going to take you from teacher to ID or whatever to ID, whichever career we're transferring from at the moment. But they're just going to be bits and bobs. I've got a couple of videos coming out this next week. We are now committing to 2 videos per week, which will be nice, and we've got some lined
Nice.
up. We're
I think we
looking
can do
at
that.
accessibility stuff, so I'm looking at captioning. I'm looking at the anatomy of effective learning objectives. That'll be an interesting one. Brainwave, it's got all to do with using blooms. It's got a lot to do with figuring out what someone needs to be able to do. Shock horror. Yeah, we got some cool content coming up, but it's not, you know, it's not promising anything. That's my biggest bugbear. You want to sell a course, go for it. If someone buys it, that's their problem. You start promising people a job. You start saying that you're gonna make more money because you've done this course. It's bull crap. When I hire
Yeah.
someone, there's money involved, and that money doesn't change based on whose online course you've done. The money is decided by what the job is, not by not by who the person is. That's just how the world works.
Yep.
Um, but hey, let's not bog down too much into that. We've got some awesome ideas coming up in the chat. Guys, I'm so sorry about YouTube chat not working today. That's a real pain. I really appreciate though you keeping the. I can see that you've got a good number of playbacks on YouTube, so I appreciate that. Hi to
Hmm.
everyone who is on YouTube. I'm sorry you couldn't get involved in the chat.
Hi
That will be
guys.
fixed by next month, I promise. As I said, coming up over this next month, we got 2 videos a week coming out. I've also got some plans for some live stream build with me sessions where
Ooh,
you'll be able to join me as we build something. Chances are it'll be in storyline, but it might be else. Who knows? It kind of depends what I'm doing at the time.
360
Um,
images, man. Make it work. Make it
I'm
cool.
I may do a section. You know what? Why not? Let's do a session around 360 images, and let's do it on Wednesday. Wednesday, 8 p.m. UK time. I will commit to streaming some. I don't know. Oh, shit, hang on. I may have just committed to doing something when we're going out to dinner. So,
Ah,
pending me finding out whether or not I've just accidentally caused my wife to divorce me, I will commit to streaming a 360 build at
love the
some
internet now.
point this week. I'll post out about it when we're doing it. We'll put it on YouTube. We'll put it on Twitch, assuming I can
Glorious.
figure out what's caused the problem with the live
Mhm.
chat thing because I like Twitch, but I don't want to go to Twitch for the sake of losing
Mhm.
the YouTube chat because that's always a good chat on there. Guys, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into the show this evening. As always, it's been a pleasure to spend the last Friday of the month with you all.
Yep,
Same with
yep.
you, Joey. Always a pleasure.
Always.
And hey, do tune in next week. Do check out Joey's YouTube channels as well. Training is Blank and Decks and Drafts if you're into your card games. Or
Yep.
even if you're not, I hadn't played in years, and just watching someone enjoy it so much really rekindled my joy for the game.
Oh, it's about to
So
get
it's
spicy, man. We got new stuff coming out, and we're all excited
oh,
for what's new, and the world is fun. And I'm gonna bring
this
more
is
marketing stuff in finally.
cool.
Finally.
Good stuff, good stuff. Sounds distinctly like I'm going to end up buying stuff. This is a problem. On that basis, if I'm going to have to buy stuff, guys, check out the Patreon, check out Buy Me a Beer, check out the IDT store. You don't have to do anything, but of course it's appreciated. We have got some real cool stuff launching later this month on the IDT store, including Learning Styles t-shirts. Oh yes, we're going there.
Yes. Are we doing Hey Baby, What's Your Learning Style?
We're not doing that, but we are having a t-shirt with each learning style depicted in a suitable way on it.
That sounds like a lie, and I'm excited.
Let me put it this way. One of them does include a plane plummeting to its doom with "Don't worry, I'm a kinesthetic learner" coming out of the cockpit. Because don't you love it when people tell you not to worry that they're not paying attention to their training because they learn on the job?
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining us. I will let you all get back to your evenings. Joey, pleasure as always.
Likewise.
And we shall see you all next month.
Cheers, everyone.
There's only one place for the breaking news in the world of instructional design. The ID Update with Tom and Joe. All the news you never knew you never needed. Only on IDT.